Good morning. My name is Matthew Behnke. I'm a reference librarian at the Kokomo-Howard Public Library, and welcome to today's program, Family Search Wiki Overview. Back in March, I gave a presentation that provided an introduction to FamilySearch.org and its many features. While recording, I gained a deeper understanding of the breadth of the Research Wiki, so much so that it merited an entire presentation. In fact, I've learned that the Family Search Wiki is vastly underutilized and misunderstood by a lot of genealogists. So just a little background about the Research Wiki and the organization that operates it. Family Search is a global nonprofit organization based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, that has been continuously operated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints since 1894. Family Search first went online as a website in 1999. Millions of records, as well as over 1 billion people on their global family tree are included in the website. The Research Wiki first went online in 2008, but previously existed for decades in a print form called Research Outlines. So if you haven't used the Family Search Research Wiki a lot, you might ask yourself, what exactly is the Research Wiki? Well, today I'm going to answer that question, but I'm also going to explain what the Research Wiki is not. The Research Wiki is not a place to directly search for ancestors. Many of the popular genealogy websites, such as Ancestry, MyHeritage, Find My Past, etc., are set up to get you searching immediately for ancestors. They direct you with search bars, making it easy to get the ball rolling with your research. This may be one of the things that throws people off with the wiki and prevents them from using it or family search in general. Instead, what the Research Wiki is a collection of genealogical information that links to websites and databases. It also provides written articles and research strategies, as well as guided research. So today I'm going to go into that in more detail. So just a little bit more about the wiki. The wiki is actually created, it's run by staff and volunteers called missionaries from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but you actually don't need to be a member of the church to add content to the wiki or to do things like transcribe documents, which is a popular activity amongst volunteers for Family Search. Actually, all you need is an account, and you can adopt a wiki page. You can zero in on an area of research that you're interested in. For example, if you have a historical society in your locality and you want to work on the wiki for that, or if you have an area of expertise, say German or Scandinavian research, you can do volunteer work that. They also really welcome content that is in foreign languages. So here is the landing page for the Research Wiki. And as I mentioned just a second ago, every locality in the world is actually represented in the Research Wiki, and pretty much most languages. You don't see Antarctica on here because, Antarctica was never populated. And although there are some grave sites and explorers that passed away in Antarctica, never populated. So some people liken the Research Wiki to Wikipedia for genealogy, but I personally like to think of the Research Wiki as more like an online international university. It teaches, guides, and helps you develop your research, and just in general, helps you to learn about genealogy. So here we are on the landing page for Family Search, the Research Wiki. And as you see, you get a map of the entire world. And the reason that you get a map of the entire world is that there are locality pages for every continent and practically every country in the world. And you can just start by clicking. There's multiple ways that you can search the wiki. There's a topic bar up here at the top right. There's also a topic page here in the middle. They give you some search tips. You can also just start clicking. You can start clicking. You can click the United States, then you click country, then you click state, or North America rather. You can click the Canadian provinces or the federations in Mexico. But you can click within the United States, then click individual states, and then go to counties. Right here, there's an About the Wiki page. This is really useful, especially as you're just getting acclimated to the Research Wiki. But there's actually a lot of important information that is on this About the Wiki page. Here are the purposes, policies, and procedures of the wiki page. This gives a complete listing. So this is especially important if you're going to become a content creator, if you want to write wiki articles yourself, or if you just want to understand how Family Search operates a little bit better. This is a great place to go for that. There is a way that you can search the wiki by country right here. And then there's also browse the wiki by content. So a lot of the articles are localities. So you browse by location, but then there's also topic pages. And this gives you a breakdown of those. In addition, there's also listings of all of the family history centers around the world. And I mean, this just gives you like a breakdown. Everything is spelled out on the wiki. That's one thing that I really like. So it explains what the family history centers are. I haven't really explained that yet. So FamilySearch.org is based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. And of course, they have the famous Family Search, the Family History Library. But it isn't the only library that Family Search uses. In fact, it's a federation kind of different libraries, historical societies. Sometimes they're located in churches, but they're record keepers for Family Search all over the world. And if you are a designated family history library or family history center, you have more records. You have records that only family history centers have. So if you're a Family Search user, what is actually digitized within the catalog is kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole scaffolding of information with Family Search. And you might, and luckily, with the FamilySearch.org website, at the very least, you'll know that a record that you're trying to find is only located at a family history center. So then you'll just need to go to one of your local, you'll need to go to this page here, which gives you a breakdown of the family history centers. So let's see. There is a hyperlink in here that shows where all of the family history centers are. It gives you a map. Right here it is. Find a family history center, and it's going to give you this interactive map. And all I got to do is hit Control and scroll, and I could scroll down and find. See, look at all these that are popping up. And before you know it, I'm right here in lovely Kokomo, Indiana. I've got a vested interest, of course, since I work here at the Kokomo-Howard Public Library. But this is my closest family history center. And there's a lot of microfilm here that are kind of, a lot of them are in the catalog at Family Search, but you'd have to actually come to this library since, you know, not everything is digitized. It's not all online, contrary to popular belief. You hear that a lot, it's all online. Not necessarily the case. So there's the family history centers, and this just gives you a breakdown of the kind of genealogical records that are actually in different family family history centers. And then there's, of course, the Family Search affiliate libraries, which they have even more special access. And then there are the Family Search temples. And so the Mormon Church does have a little bit of special reign over its collections. But you just have to follow down that path. So back here I'm going to go back to the Research Wiki homepage. Just like to take you back to the default, since this is kind of just a little mini tour that I'm taking you on. So here are the different online genealogy records, and there's so many different ways to search the wiki, and this one gives you kind of a record specialization of all these different localities. So it goes from broad to narrow. So here we are in the United States. And then there's genealogy records kind of along ethnic lines and special collections. And then here it is, just a state by state collection. And then there's the international scope. So this is a good quick view. And then there's all the European countries, Mexico and Central America, Middle East. I mean, this is just, there's a lot. So we'll go back to the, and then there's what's called guided research, which is a very interesting way of helping you to formulate questions. That's how I would best explain guided research. And you can click on there. For example, here's the United States, and I can click on Indiana. And so it kind of formulates everything based on a question. So it kind of gets you in your kind of inquisitive mode, where you're actually answering research questions. And so this kind of points you, that's why it's called guided research. Helps you to locate records and to locate record gaps. And this is one of the newest features on Ancestry, or I'm sorry, on Family Search, and it really helps people to kind of get their bearings and to direct their research. Now, here's the Research Resources tab. And this is another one. This is really, really good for beginning genealogists. It kind of gives you everything you need to know to get started with beginning genealogy. And then there are all these videos that Family Search has presented. I watched this one the other day on the Research Wiki, and these were at Roots Tech, which is the huge worldwide conference that Family Search puts on every year. It's a big deal in the genealogy world. But here's just another really nice finding aid. So I've gone over the Family History Library and the Family History Centers. These are the quick pages to that. So now I'm going to do a little bit of research myself. I didn't do this before, but if you're going to use the wiki or really anything on Family Search, you need to sign on. So I'm going to go ahead and sign on really quick. And then just need my username and password to get on. And to make an account, you really don't need to do much. You really just need to be over 18 and show that you have an email address and you have a recovery option, either a phone number or an email address. But then they don't sell you anything. There's no paid level, no hidden fees, so don't worry about that. And then you have access to pretty much everything. Like I said, there's some restrictions that are privy to the Family Search, the people that are in the actual Mormon church or to temples. Let me go back to the wiki now. So shouldn't have any trouble accessing anything now that I'm signed in. So There's a couple of different examples that I wanted to show just to give the user an opportunity to see some of the possibilities. So I'm going to go to one of the localities that I'm researching here in the United States. And again, there's many ways that you can do this. Got two search bars on the top, but I just like clicking. I like maps. So I'm going to click on Pennsylvania. And I'm actually looking for a really specific locality in Pennsylvania, Berks County. But I'm starting off on the state level because there's tons of resources in the state level. Up here at the top, there's information about when the state was formed, how it was formed. There's this getting started with Pennsylvania research, which again, these getting started are excellent resources for people that are at the beginning stages of their search or at the beginning stages of just doing genealogy, because there is so much. Over here on the right, we have another kind of beginning. We have the guided research page that I just showed you, how it formulates questions to get you working towards research questions. And then here's a listing of all of the different record types in Pennsylvania. There's more information about the background, the history of Pennsylvania when it was a colony, and all of the different lineage societies, history, historical museums, and things like that. The different kind of resources that you can find information. So here's Berks County right here on the map. I scroll down, I have more information, migration routes, additional resources. So again, I'm just trying to enforce the fact that there is just the wiki is very deep. So here's Berks County. And I have several lines that are in Berks County, but one that's specific that I'm really fascinated by and that I really want to do research. And they're old order Amish. And they were actually in Berks County before Berks County was even a county. It was when it was just still Lancaster, but it was the first Amish settlement, one of the first Amish settlements in the United States. So a little bit about Berks County here. You get this description of where Berks is at, the courthouse information, the specific places you need to call for specific record types. All of these tabs for localities give you information about when there were fires, tornadoes, floods, plagues. Luckily, there aren't record gaps. According to this wiki page, there are not big record gaps, but there are a lot of specific dates for any locality, even within the United States, even within a state. You're going to have different records based on when a county was formed. And also very, very valuable, you get records of boundary changes. Since, like I mentioned, Berks was originally part of Lancaster, and then it split off from that, but there were other counties that split off from it. So the boundaries changed significantly over time, and you have all kinds of resources like this rotating formation Pennsylvania County boundary map. That's probably a resource that I want to look at, since I had relatives that lived there starting in the late 1720s, 1730s, and they were at a settlement. They were the North Kill Amish. From doing previous research, I happen to know that they're today it's a tiny little town called Charlottesville. It's a census designated place. But hey, that's how thorough this wiki is. Charlottesville's right there. I can click on there and learn more about this locality. I've already done some research on here. It takes me to the Charlottesville Wikipedia page, and it's got an enormous population of 455 people. But yeah, if you're using this wiki and you're using it for the first time, it's pretty surprising how much is on here. Of course, it's a wiki and it's not complete. So there are areas that are blank. There's no history timeline. There's no biographies of people that have lived in Berks County. So if you see this and you're the type of person that hates to see gaps in a record, you can dive in and become a record contributor. But yeah, there's just so much on this page. And church records, this is huge. Um, so this points me to all of the different denominations that have existed in Berks County. And it's a lot. There is a lot of information on here. So here we've got the Amish, and it's talking about the North Kill settlement that I was just talking about that is no longer in existence and that was kind of ravaged during the French and Indian War. But as I continue to scroll down, I see all of these different denominations and just how deep this wiki is. So next, I'm going to talk a little bit about another record type and some of the other possibilities with research in a foreign country. So I have ancestors that are German, but they come out of a part of Germany that is no longer Germany. So again, I was talking about boundary changes and how much that affects things and how you search, where you search. Let me give a demonstration of searching the wiki. And this time I am going to use a tab. So I'll go back to the main wiki page. So here's the German genealogy wiki page. And this can be really intimidating for someone that hasn't done much research yet. But there are so many resources here on the wiki, and it's really helped me personally with my own search for my German ancestors. Over here on the right, we've got research strategy, finding places of origin, finding aids for German records. How about this? German word list. I click on this, and I actually get a listing of different German words, some of which are going to be really, really useful for genealogy. So here's the German words for birth, burial, Catholic, etc. But these are really, really valuable if you're going to look in German records. And so this is a handwriting guide, and here's another. This gives you a whole tutorial of how to read German script. And what's really, really helpful here in the wiki is that you can actually go and there are additional tools that will help you. There are actually going to be research groups that you can join. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. And I've actually sought out some advice on these research group pages. I've asked for specific help with finding military records, and there are all kinds of people who actually get help even reading church records. So there's all kinds of free options out there. A lot of people would guess that you would need to pay someone to read German church records, but you can actually get help. And so as I scroll down, there's all these additional record types that you can research. Like I just mentioned, military records, or cemeteries, census records. Here's another one, the Myers Gazetteer online. So if you didn't know how to search for this, you could stumble upon it on the wiki page like I am, And the Myers Gazetteer is especially helpful when you are searching for a place and you want to find its original name, find how the boundaries have changed. So this is a really, really important resource, and it's kind of a standard. The Myers Gazetteer for German genealogy and for research all over the globe. Here's a little bit on finding a town of origin. Like I was saying, this is really, really helpful. And then how the boundaries changed after 1871. So I've been doing some research, and I'm trying to substantiate the kind of anecdotal claim on my third great grandmother's obituary that her husband served in the Franco-Prussian War in 1871 when their first child was born. Haven't been able to find a record of it yet, but the big deal about that short war with France was that it gave Germany, for the first time in its history, unification as a single country. The country that we know as Germany, for most of its existence, it wasn't really a single country. So this is complicated stuff. It might make your head hurt, but going to this wiki, it's a huge help in kind of breaking down really complicated issues. Like I said, when they lived where they lived, it was Prussia, and it was Germany, and then after World War II, I think, or World War I think it was World War II, it was Poland. So today, it's they live near a place called what is now Szczecin, Poland, and then it was near Stettin, Germany. So I have multiple places to look. If I'm looking on the Gazetteer, I'm looking for, Germany, but if I'm looking on a modern map, I'm looking in Poland. So that this really helps you break that down. And so if I'll just go back to the main wiki page, just going to go back to the map and look right here, this clicking number right here, 95,000 research articles. That is a lot of information. So just know that if you come to Family Search, there will be this huge, huge wealth of information that you will be able to sink your teeth into. And don't worry, it's going to be here. Take your time. I would really recommend watching a video or going to this About the Wiki page, because there's just so much information. And it is a little bit of a learning curve, but it doesn't need to be intimidating, since there are so many pages that just help you to break down the beast that is genealogical research. So I hope this video has been helpful. If you found this helpful, click a like or give us a comment. And if you need more help, please come down to the Kokomo-Howard Public Library at 220 North Union Street here in lovely Kokomo, Indiana. And thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.